All right, so I'm out of the traffic. Man, that car come rushing up behind me. I had to get over in the left lane. I thought they were going to hit me. Then they crossed over the right double lane there. It's like, we're all stopped, dude. Where you going? Anyways, the real estate market. It's right now we're in an interesting position that we've got some higher interest rates, but surprisingly they are coming down a little bit. And to me, it's hard to articulate my point of view because there's so much contradictory information out there. And the best way I know how to explain it is just kind of give you the timeline that's in my head. You know, back September, October of 2023, the mortgage rates went up really high. You know, they got to almost 8.25%. And that did stall the market. I had some listings up that were at that time. And I mean, things pretty much just stopped for a little bit there. And then Jerome Powell came out and he said, listen, we have got to get this inflation under control because it's going to wreck our economy. And he basically just explained that it's going to suck, but we're going to start bringing down interest rates. But if things start picking up too much, then we'll bring the rates back up because we've got to keep the inflation on the trajectory to 2%. Well, we've kind of fallen off all of that. And now we have a new Fed chair. And there's a lot of stuff going on that I can't just talk about in a short video because I'll go off on too many gosh damn tangents. And really, at the end of the day, it's all manipulated. It's all just, it's all manipulated. It really is. And it's to make numbers look good. But right now, I feel like as a society, we are in this interesting position. And like I said, it's a little hard for me to explain this in a quick version. But think about it this way. Jerome Powell came out and he said this was our goal. And he was actually really working towards that. Trump would come out and try to push things for his narrative. And I'm not picking sides on this. It's just a simple observation here. And Trump's real goal for the longest time, really until recently, right now I'm actually kind of confused what is actually going on with the president and all that stuff. But that's for somebody else to talk about. Here we're talking about real estate. But you know, it was like Trump was trying to get our national debt down. So that's why he was so hyper-focused on getting the Fed rate down. And it appeared that Jerome Powell was just kind of effing with Trump. But I genuinely believe that Jerome was like really trying to focus on what he said. Where he came out and he's like, this is our plan. And he really stuck to that. Well, now that he's on the way out, a lot of things are changing. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen. But even if the Fed rate gets all the way to zero, mortgage rates could still be in the sixes. And I don't think a lot of people truly understand that when I listen to them talk about the Fed rate and all this other stuff that's going on. Now, if that happens, we are going to get into this terrible position of stagflation. And basically what that is, it's where you've got inflation, but you don't have the fun, booming economy that you get with most of the time with inflation. That's why I call it stagflation. They could call it suckflation. Because it's going to suck. Because prices are going to go up, mortgage rates are going to go up, inflations are going to go up, but the economy is not booming alongside that. So basically where we are right now with home prices is we're in a very split market where there are areas that have got extremely high demand and you've got areas that people just don't want to live. You've got new construction subdivisions that have absolutely no character. They have pretty homes, but they have no character. And buyers aren't necessarily wanting to buy them. And you've got a lot of new construction neighborhoods that they're packed in so gosh damn tight that buyers don't want that type of product. You've also got a lot of developers and you've got a lot of political stuff going on in Texas right now to where you're seeing a lot of PIDs, a lot of MUDs, and a lot of things that the developers are wanting to use to take the burden of just the subdivision development off of their shoulders, and they're going to put it on the city, and then the city puts it on the homeowners. So you'll see a subdivision where, you know, and I'm going to throw some random numbers out there, but you'll see a subdivision where the median price of the homes might be, let's say, $400,000. But to live in that house, you're going to have to spend a hell of a lot more money because you've got a high HOA, you've got a high PID tax, you've got high taxes. You have a lot of things right now that are affecting the affordability of homes more than the actual cost, which, if you saw something I posted earlier today, I talked about how inventory is starting to go down, and it could potentially just be a seasonal trend, but I'm seeing some things that rhyme with what we've seen for the past 2 years, but they're not the exact same pattern. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to happen. But as home affordability, this is the most contradictory thing. It's going to happen for a little while, and then it will crash. But remember, it's all manipulated. So as soon as it gets to the point where it looks like it's going to crash, then the Fed and the government, they all come out with something that kind of makes it work out. So what I'm trying to say here is, as home affordability gets more expensive, not the home prices, home affordability, then that's when the Fed or the government comes out and they do something to make the home more affordable, but not necessarily bring the prices down. So basically, if you're sitting on the sidelines and you're hoping for prices to come down, I could literally go on for hours and hours and give you numbers of metrics and opinions and ideas and facts on why prices are not going to come down in a way that's meaningful. Seasonally, you'll see those metrics change a little bit, but meaningful reduction in home prices is probably not going to happen.